time, y'all. CNS Travel, Texas Cruiser, and Adventures with Uncle Dave. You know what time it is.
All right. Whoop, whoop. It's news
Let's
day.
talk about it.
We're going live and we're setting free.
Hey, how you folks doing this evening? All right, everybody. Everybody's doing good.
Oh, my bad. Wrong show. Wrong show. I apologize.
Let's talk about it.
Hello, Cruise. This is Rick Williams at Texas Cruise.
Where you wanna be there. Let's ride with CNS, ride with Uncle Dave, and the Texas Cruisers bringing waves. Hey, let's talk about it. Don't you miss this trip? We're going full speed, no script, just grip that shit. Who's got the deals? Who's got the tea? What's the next port where we wanna be? Short skirts, sea days, parties at night.
That was going to be good for Mobile, man. I think it's all right. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Got our special reporter, Cruising Chris M, here to give us some little special news reports tonight. So we got Rick. Rick was with us before the show, and we lost him. I think the internet he's on the ship. The internet must have got him messed up, and he's tried to come back a couple times, but he's so he might pop back in. So hopefully we'll have him, and maybe Uncle Dave will pop in. But if not, you got me and Chris. So
yep, we're here. We're here.
We'll talk about something.
We'll figure something out.
That's
for sure.
right. Let's see. Go in the chat here. Hey, Joseanne's first one in. Hey, Joseanne. Appreciate you coming in. Seven Lake Goldberg. Appreciate you being here. We got Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl. Hope you're doing all right tonight. Got Linda. Hey, Linda. Got Barry. Barry, you off tonight or you working? He's working a lot of times. Gets in. Hey, Trisha said, hey, how you doing? Appreciate you being here. Hope you had a good day. Got Attila's here. Hey, Attila. Everybody saying hey. Saying what's up, Chris?
Yep.
So, you got Nettie.
I've got Svetlana and Goldberg and Lori over on my side, and Nellie just popped in.
Yeah, another saying.
Actually, that's Curacao, Nellie. Talking about background, that's Curacao at night. Just took that on my last cruise.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you hadn't been off the horizon long, have you?
Nope, got off on the 28th.
Oh, there's Lord. Hey, Lord. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing good today. Jamie, hey, hope you're doing good. Let's see. Everybody talking back and forth. That's a good thing. Let's see. Do it again. That's all right. I know sometimes I look and I'm sure I'm subscribed to somebody, and when I go look, I'm not. So I don't know. But so we'll all of us need to check that sometimes. I think it'll kick us off sometimes. And so wow. Uncle Dave needs to be up here. He's got 11 people in his channel.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to pop on over.
Yeah.
I've got Jeremy and Cheryl over on my side.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, yeah. So how you been doing today, Chris? How things going?
I'm doing all right, except for that little snow squall we had come in around 10 o'clock this morning. We didn't get it too bad down here, but I hear up around Michigan City, South Bend, and all them, they're getting a couple foot of snow up that way. So we didn't get it so bad down this way, but we got a little bit of snow, snow and ice, because it was around 46 when I left for work this morning, and then that temperature just bottomed out within a couple of hours. So it turned real bad real quick, but doing well. Had a good day at work. Students were pretty good spirits. They were hoping to get out after lunch. I said, yeah, we're getting out after lunch, but we get out every day after lunch, just not an earlier after lunch like they wanted. So
Right. Well, there's Rick trying to pop in again. We'll see.
yep, hopefully getting that Wi-Fi working for her.
Yeah. Had Mitch, had Cam Fan.
Hey, Mitch, how you doing tonight?
Got Will G. Everybody saying, hey. I don't know that Rick's going to be able to make it.
Yeah, I had that same problem when I was on the horizon. I tried to pop in a couple of lives and just kept on booting me out. So,
yeah, it's hard sometimes to get the internet right, and you'll have it right for a little while, and then when you get ready to do something, it kicks you off, and so
yep.
So yeah, Carnival Sips and Surf package deal. It includes drink package and premium Wi-Fi. Conference. Yep. Yeah, actually, I got they just had a sale, with that package, with 2 different packages. And so our next cruise, I had already booked or the Cheers package and premium Wi-Fi. But then they come out with the package, so I canceled it and went back and got that package, and saved some money. They got the same thing.
Yeah,
so
for sure. And at first they were only offering it as a casino offer, I think, because I wasn't since that was my first Carnival cruise, I wasn't eligible for it for my December cruise, but I just logged on today because I'm starting to get some casino offers. Nothing free, but I'm getting some pretty good discounts.
Right.
It was one of the offers that was available to me. So
yeah. I don't know. He ain't the grumpy one ain't showed up yet. So hopefully he'll be here in a little while.
But he's a grumpy one we all love to love.
I reckon Rick's trying on Donna's too, but it's showing him down here, but it's just black. He's just not able to come in all the way. So, Rick, I still got you down here, just waiting for you the internet to kick in, and so you can pop in and folks can see you and hear you and all that good stuff.
Yep. It's discounted pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty good discount.
It's not about half price, but it's almost pretty close to about half price, I think.
Yeah.
It's depending on the length of your cruise, but it's a really good deal, Attila. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to remember how much. I want to say, the one I did, it was like a 6-day, and I want to say it saved about $250, I think,
right,
over the total cost.
Right.
So,
and it's the premium Wi-Fi too, so you're not having to, dilly dally with a, lower end Wi-Fi. So.
That's right. So and which there was 2 of us, so we saved close to $450, $500. I mean, off of those. Because once you start adding on the Cheers and premium Wi-Fi, you wind up about paying as much for that as you did the cruise.
Oh, for sure. And the way that airfare is going right now, I don't know if you drive down to the airport or if you fly, but airfare has been kicking me in the butt lately.
Oh yeah. It depends on where we go, which most of them are far enough. Most of the ports are far enough away that we'll fly.
Right.
But if we're going out of Norfolk, that's only a couple hours we'll drive. When Charleston was still there, that was about 4 hours we drive from that. We have drove
Right.
to Port Canaveral and Fort Lauderdale and Miami, but that was when the kids were going with us, and so it was like 4 of us and that kind of thing. When it's just me and Crystal, a lot of times now, just over like that 4 hour mark, then we'll fly.
Right.
But it all depends. Now, when we went out a couple of years ago, we went out of Mobile, and of course they don't have a airport there. They just have a small regional, so it was really outrageous to try to fly there. So we drove there. So, yeah, that's right, Laura.
It'd probably almost be better off to maybe flying to go to Mobile and just kind of rent a car, maybe, because it's like, I think I looked at it's like maybe 2 or 4 hours drive or something like that.
It could be. I know it was about 13 hours drive for us to get there. So
yeah, with where I'm at in the middle, I mean, our closest port is Baltimore, which is about a 12-hour drive, and we're actually going to do that this summer because taking my son and my mother-in-law with us, so getting flights for all of us would be around $1,300 get into Baltimore. So it's just easier to we're going to rent a van one way and turn in when we get there, and then as soon as we get off the ship, we're going to rent a van one way, come back. And I got the van rental for 2 days. It's gonna only cost like $250 maybe, plus gas. So
all right, Rick, we can almost see you.
Yeah, almost.
I try to walk towards the bridge.
Just be careful.
I'm thinking maybe the router's there. Try to get close
walk towards the light, Rick. Walk towards the light.
Be careful which light you go to.
And this high dollar.
Lord.
We moved to another spot.
Yeah, because when we're doing the Baltimore cruise, that's right at the start of summer, so that's probably why it was so expensive.
Right.
I've got 4 of us. We're flying we're doing Celebrity Constellation here in about 15 days out of Tampa, and we're flying to that one, but it wasn't that expensive.
There you are, Rick.
We got you now.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Mitch, I think you're right. I think it's about 45% off when you do the package like that.
Right. Well, I got supposed to be the upper package, upper internet package. I'm kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, we had that too, and it seemed to work for regular stuff. Anytime I tried to stream anything, did not have very much success.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a little more of a quiet spot, but it's it's a chore trying to find the right spot and the where the Wi-Fi works.
Right. Oh, that's all right. Just take us in the club, Rick. Just take us in the club with you. We'll be all right.
Yes, sir. Oh, maybe I'll. It's the outdoor marina bar.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
That's not too bad.
I think you must like that place. I've seen several little pictures and everything from that bar since you've been there.
Yeah, we have made it one of our hangouts here. Yeah. So it's a good cold beer and good drinks.
Well, that's good. It looks like they got good Wi-Fi.
We're up live, man.
7-day Mardi Gras for $300. That's not bad at all, Tricia.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
$300?
303 per person interior for a 7-day on the Mardi Gras.
No, I'd be happy for that.
Right.
That would be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Unless she's talking about the drink package combo.
Right.
What she's talking about. Either way, that's still not bad.
It's still not bad because we did an 8-day and drink package alone. I think was like $1,200. I think something like that. It was $500 or $600. I think it was expensive. So yeah, it was pretty pricey.
Right.
Oh, let's see. That's not out of my channel, I don't think.
No, I think it's on. I think it might be on Rick's. But, let's see.
Let me try one more spot. You want to get away from that? A bunch of from 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds.
All right.
I told Don she couldn't play with them anymore. They're too drunk. Okay, and this should be a little quieter.
All right.
Hello.
Is there any mods in Rick's channel?
Yeah. The crews pretty friendly. I like them. They're all attentive and they take care of their job. At the same time, they like to have a good time. Hadn't had too many issues with the fellow passengers.
Right.
No fights or anything like that.
That's a good thing.
Right.
I didn't hear too many issues when I was on my cruise either. So,
all right, Lori, have a good night.
Something happened in one of the bathrooms here close to this bar area we hang out, and somebody said something. They brought a body of somebody out of the bathroom, all wrapped up and all.
that's not
Right.
That's not a good thing.
No.
Hopefully, it was natural causes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Mitch. I think it'll depend on how many people are using it at the time. Just like anything. I mean, they only got so much bandwidth the ship that they can put out. So if you get a lot of people trying to use it at one time, peak times, it's gonna slow down.
Yep, and with Starlink, it depends on the weather too. If you've got a lot of overcast clouds and stuff like that, I can mess it up too.
Just one thing, guys. Don's thinking walk by. She had her phone on a show, and you're gonna hear a little bit of an echo. There you go. Yeah, she's walking away. She's going to join the 56-year-old drunks.
Rick M's asking, how's the weather?
How's the which one?
How's the weather?
Oh, weather. First sea day was kind of wet and rainy, and ship rocked a little bit, and it rocked the second day too. But then it settled down a little bit. We got into Costa Mine, no problem. Same thing at Cozumel, and we just left Rotan this morning. A little bit of swells there, but not much. So
Right.
I was watching the Harmony leave Rotan too at the same time we left, and then NCL Escape is over there too. So, excuse me. We had a full house at Costa Maya. So that was
Really?
Yeah, we had it's two NCL ships, Dawn and Jewel, and Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas, and then of course Jubilee.
Right.
We didn't get off. We stayed on board.
There you go. Think that's for you, Chris. Hey, Emily, are you in? I think you're in Rick's chat. Since he gave you that wrench, I think there's something in there you can maybe take care of for us.
I just popped it into Rick's real quick, and I didn't see anybody. I think somebody already took care of it,
Right.
or it's not. It's not in.
Or they
It's
just
not in
left.
his vertical chat, anyways, because that's the one that I'm in.
Yeah, M's pretty good. She takes care of that stuff for me.
Yeah. Well, when it was going on, it was only people in our three chats, and it wasn't in mine and one in yours. So that's why I figured it had to be in Rick's. So somebody must have
Yeah,
took care of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's a mess.
$1,200 for 7 days of drinking.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yep.
It is a lot.
But if you drink a lot, you can probably get there too.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Teacher.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you don't have the package and you drink a lot, it could be a lot more than $1,200 by the end of 7
Yes, it
days.
could be.
Yes, it can for sure.
Yes, it could be.
I know there was
For sure,
a
it can.
fellow we want to cruise with a few years ago, well, several years ago now, and they he didn't have drink package, and he spent about that much the first 3 days. So
That's pretty pricey.
This may be in relation to that. I bought 2 bottles of Patron Silver and Cozumel for $28 a bottle. I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Right.
Got 2 bottles of Royal Crown Black for $50 or 2. That's the duty free. And I feel like I did pretty good on both those purchases.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
Hey Denise, appreciate you being here.
That's real good.
Chris, she's saying the background looks like your hair standing up. I hadn't noticed it until
Yeah, I know with that. Yeah, with that black back there. Yeah.
It's breezy. It is breezy.
Yeah.
So, let's see. All right, let me get caught back up here. I was trying to take care of that stuff. Rick, they won't know if you've met Kendall Fire yet.
I keep seeing her, but I haven't had a chance to get to talk to her. I've seen her off and on in these venues, but as far as catching her away from those venues, I have yet to do that.
Well, I figured you would already have a lockdown for an interview.
That's yeah, me too. Yep.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to come back with, is have an interview from Kendall. So
Yeah, I'm disappointed I hadn't had that yet.
well, you got a few more days. Let's see. 2 C days, and we're back to Galveston. Cool.
Yep. I'll be back home here shortly. In a couple of days.
Oh, hey, Scott. Scott been out buying a car today. All right. Wait, Scott, what are you doing? Out getting a Lamborghini?
Not buying a car.
Well, Scott, I reckon you saw. I sent you something about a job that posting I saw that I thought you might be interested in. So maybe you got that. And that's why you're out buying a car. Already know you're making that money. And Rick, the boss is watching you.
Him sent me something.
Uh-oh. 25 Hyundai Elantra Hybrid SEL White. All right, I hear you.
It's not bad there, little car. My wife had a Hyundai Elantra several years ago. Then we started having kids, and we had to get something a little bigger. So just don't have any kids, and you'll be all right.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
Let's see. I have drinks on us in the casino, but I may get the 0 proof because I love me some coffee, drink, bottled water, and Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when they were doing that package, it was on. Of course, now that was the value. I think that was the value Wi-Fi with the 0 proof, but that was like $50 a day. And once you get on the ship, you can upgrade the Wi-Fi if you want to.
Right.
So,
see, I was worried about hitting that 15 drink a day limit when I first got on. You know, I was getting several drinks a day when I first got on the ship, but as I got to know the bartenders, they got to know me. You know, it went from just getting because I used to get my drinks in a tall glass. It went from getting a shot or two of Jack Daniels and Diet Coke to getting like 3/4 of a glass of Jack Daniels and just a splash of Diet Coke. So then instead of having 7 or 8 drinks a day, I'd be down to like 3 or 4 drinks a day because they'd be putting me on my butt. So I wouldn't be able to be drinking as much.
Yep.
So, yeah, well, everybody knows that's what you want to do, and that's where you ought to be, Scott. So that's why all of us send it to you. So let's see.
And delete somebody out. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, Scott have to do a video of the car so we can all see it. Do a live of it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Take us for a test drive in it.
Yeah.
Get that camera mounted and.
Yeah. Hey Tanya, hope you're doing good tonight. Appreciate you stopping in. Like she's jumping around channels. Let's see, Trish, but all 3 of us would have gotten it. The other 2 folks, yeah, that's right. Yeah, everybody had to get it. So, all right. Well,
Paul, how you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping in. Paul had a good premiere today of his trip to Curacao.
okay.
He did a nice little tour there. I think it was a tour of Curacao. Probably go over and check out his channel. Watch the replay of it. It was a pretty good. It was a really good tour.
Yeah.
We got some great news about the Port of Galveston that they got $8 million in grants to help the port with infrastructure and transportation needs and some other things. So they're going to start working on improving the roadway to where people can get into the port easier and start getting some of the studies done. So we'll see. But I'm glad they got it, though. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they must have heard I was coming in 2027, so they figured they'd probably get on it now.
Yep. That's for sure.
Well,
I want that flyway 45 to Harborside get done now.
Yeah.
Over the track. I hate those railroad tracks. Get past the track. So
Right. Well, I know when I went to Miami for the Horizon cruise, our driver was talking about they're doing a flyover from Miami Airport all the way down to the cruise port. So that's going to really cut down time there from getting from the airport to the cruise port. So, but they really need to improve the access getting into the port too, because they've got that tunnel and then they've got one other way. So
right.
It's still kind of a mess trying to get in and out of that place sometimes.
Yeah, man. So
Rick Mitch is asking, what's your thoughts on raising parking costs in Galveston for cruising?
Parking?
Yeah, right. Raising the parking costs.
I think they're about where they need to be. Now, some of that is the port wanting to get fees from those independent parking lots.
Right.
If any of their business comes in relation to the port determines they need a fee per vehicle or per shuttle bus load of passengers.
Right.
And they'll probably get that, but I don't think it's going to be a whole lot more. I think what the port wants to do now is start building more parking garages. So that's the next step.
Right.
Put a parking garage in front of each terminal. And, MSC already has one.
Now, what's the cost of parking at Galveston Port as compared to parking at one of the hotels and doing a park and stay kind of thing?
It's cheaper at the hotel. It's like 221, something like that, for the parking area, for the parking garages next to the terminals or any of the parking lots close to the terminals. Now, if you get away from the terminals, it goes down. The port parking garage that I park at 18th and 37th Street. It starts out around 209, something like that, but with my loyalty discounts and all that, I get it down around 170.
Now, I would think with you being the governor of Galveston Port that you get parking for free.
They kind of laugh when I mention that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I figured you had your own parking spot down there. Had a sign on it and everything else.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't.
Well, let me holler at you, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing tonight?
I mean, let's see. They raised them a lot already the last few years. Yeah, everything they keep raising everything up. That's it. It all depends.
Yes, they do.
Some of them don't have shuttles, and some pay for Ubers. Yeah.
I know one of the things that I'm thinking about is on Princess Cruises with that Hawaii tax is they are still charging a tax right now because, even though it's temporarily suspended by the judge, they're still charging the tax because if it gets implemented, it still could get charged back taxes. So that's why they're still charging people as they do it. So, because I know there was a big hubbub on some of the Princess chat forums about they're still getting charged. What is it? I think it's like an 11% a night tax or 10% a night tax.
Well, yeah, the other day
That's
when
ridiculous.
they put the the judge put the injunction, they're supposed to not be charging that tax until it gets through the appeal process. Because what you said is you're right, it's 11% state tax, and then they all said the counties can charge another 3%. So you're looking at a 14% cost tax on top of your normal
everything else. Yeah.
I mean, and it's based off the cruise fare, so it depends on the cost of your cruise, and then how many days you're in a Hawaiian port, and so I mean it's expensive. I got it here as one of the things. Yeah, it said that the federal appeals court blocked Hawaii from enforcing the climate change tourist tax. let's see, it was supposed to go into effect January 1, but on New Year's Eve, the judges, two federal judges stepped in and supposedly stopped it.
Right.
And of course, CLIA and all the other the cruise lines, are fighting against it with lawsuits. Even the Trump administration is on it with the lawsuits, saying that it violates the U.S. Constitution. It says the fees also place a financial burden on passengers already subject to substantial fees and taxes. CLIA added in its proceedings, including in Act 96, the cruise tax is part of a larger new law passed by the Hawaiian state legislature in May. At the time, Governor Josh Green said that the new tax was aimed to help Hawaii cope with warming planet. As part of the law, cruise guests will be required to pay an 11% fee of the prorated cruise fare for the days docked at ports in Hawaii. Its lawsuit, CLIA noted that the bill authorized counties to collect an additional 3% surcharge, bringing a total of 14% of the prorated fares.
Good Lord.
Let's see.
And that's per person.
Yeah, that's per person.
Per
It was
person.
said U.S. District Judge Jill A. Otake upheld the law in the last week of December, leading the plaintiffs to appeal to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and that's where the U.S. government intervened and in the case, and also appealed the original ruling. Two of the Ninth Circuit judges later granted both requests for the injunction pending the appeal. Of course, they said that we remain confident that Act 96 is lawful and will be vindicated when the appeal is heard on the merits. The spokesman for the Hawaii Attorney General's office. So, they still think that it's going to go, and it's going to be 14% prorated
Right.
by the days that you're docked in Hawaii.
Right. And I think the cruise lines are charging because if it does go into effect, they're going to go retroactive on it. And that's why they're still collecting those fees, because you don't want to get hit with that charge, because if you cruise and then they don't come with that tax, you'll get it refunded. But if you do cruise, and they implement that tax, you'll already have it paid off, is what they're saying. Right. So, it's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't kind of things.
Right.
Well, they need to just go ahead and say, truthfully, that it's only the value for the port visits is $5 a day per person. The real value is the sea days. The sea days are quite a bit more expensive than the 4 days. Problem solved.
Yeah. I mean, Hawaii is expensive as it is, because we took a land vacation there a while ago.
Right.
And it was, hella expensive when we were there.
Yeah.
But, it was a relief when we would be able to go, our first meal, we stopped at Portillo's and got a meal for all 4 of us. Now it's just like getting a meal for 2 people in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a relief,
Oh, yeah.
We were paying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how people live there.
Yeah, I mean, it is everything there is expensive, but it's because everything is shipped in,
Right.
And so that's why it adds the cost to it. But with this Act 96, with the 14% on cruise, it wouldn't be as bad if they were doing it for the same amount for all the other tourism. They're not doing the same. They're not charging 14% for people that on their airfare flying in, on the motel rooms and that kind of stuff. It's just the cruise passengers that they're charging more of. So yeah, if it was across the board, that'd be one thing, because those people that are flying in, they're putting just as much into the climate change as the cruise ship is.
Right. Yeah, because I'd be silly if I didn't say I haven't been looking at jobs in Hawaii for my profession. It says it pays $80,000-$90,000 a year, which would be a couple thousand more than what I make now. But if you add in cost of living, I'm losing money.
Oh yeah,
and that's the top of the pay scale. Not nobody's saying that they would give me that much if I went there.
Right.
No.
Not to mention move everything out there. I mean, yes, it'd be nice to live there, but I couldn't afford to live there. There'd be no way.
right. Yeah,
Not in a public service job, anyways.
right.
Nope.
No, it's definitely expensive, because when we were out there, just like you said, going around and getting something to eat or whatever, it was expensive. But it's because everything's being shipped in and that kind of stuff, and so
we would rather
we'd like to fly over and stay a week versus just a couple days here and there. But I looked at some of the motels, and man, it was
it was
crazy.
We would just go over to the ABC store, because we stayed at Alani, the Disney resort out there. And, we would just go to the ABC store and get our food over there, because it was a lot cheaper than trying to eat at any restaurant.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah. Let's see. The cruise tubers, hey, appreciate y'all being in.
Hey Chris, I'm writing up a guide on those hotels that do provide parking, park and cruise.
Right.
So I'll come up with a guide for the hotels that do that, and what kind of price point.
Right. Well, what I would really like is what the accessibility options are for transportation. Are there any Ubers that offer the wave transport? What's the easiest way to get accessible transportation from Galveston over to the port and stuff like that? That's really what I'd be looking for when I come over in 2027. I know I mentioned that to you before, so
yeah. We have Uber, and we have a taxi service, I think Blue Cab, something like that. We have some that several. Also something called, I think Cruise Moms, the name of it.
Yeah.
And the group of ladies, they come around in the SUVs and pick people up, give them a ride.
Right, but do they have, wheelchair accessible vehicles?
Probably not. I wouldn't bet that.
That'd be more of what I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I get into Orlando and I've got the hookup for I can get handicap accessible vehicles.
Yeah.
I get down to Miami, it's expensive.
Yeah. Blue cabs do.
It's almost $100, for a short trip in Miami to get, a handicap accessible vehicle. So it's pretty crazy. But I did find a contact that I have with a yellow taxi cab that's pretty reliable, and it's a little bit more expensive than a regular cab, but he's reliable service. So, and it's less than what I pay private driver for an accessible transportation. So you do what you got to do.
That's right. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm sure y'all saw where Norwegian had changed their logo and their advertisements and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Well, they've unveiled the new brand identity, and they said it was inspired by its 90s tagline, "It's different out here," along with the first look at its new television TV campaign. The refreshed brand platform was developed in partnership with Arnold Worldwide, which is a pivotal moment for NCL, it's not just launching a campaign, we're re-anchoring our brand in the values that have
Yeah.
always been set us apart.
Right.
Said freedom, flexibility. Said that for nearly 60 years, NCL has been an innovator, and this transformation honors that legacy while I expect today's guest delivered on the vision takes trusted partners who understand our DNA, said Arnold.
A black logo is the vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And
Now, didn't they just get a new CEO not too long ago too? They had asked the other one to resign, and they're bringing new blood in too, because I think
I
they weren't
think
happy.
he did.
yeah, I think so. Well, here's a little section of their new nationwide commercial.
If you represent His Royal Majesty and shall dress accordingly. So
Sorry, is there any leeway on the uniform? It's so itchy. It's a wool.
I mean, what genius thought of wool at sea and these shoes?
We were thinking flippy floppies, perhaps.
It just lets the toes breathe.
I mean, just an idea. Think about it.
No!
Right.
Flip flops cool.
Very cool. Right this way.
So, I don't know too much about that commercial, but that's their newest and greatest.
It's funny.
So
It's funny.
we'll see what the black logo and the new commercials do for them. But
Yep. The thing about NCL is, they had that free at sea, then they went to more at sea.
right,
Now they're going back to a free at sea. So, with some different enhancements,
Right.
and then they're going to charge at their private island at Big Stirrup Key,
Right.
which they hadn't done in the past. So,
Right.
and the only reason why I know that is because I've got a cruise coming up in April, my first NCL cruise, because, I'm a Royal guy, as Rick is, and Royal and a celebrity, but I want to cruise them all. I want to try them all out.
right,
Because I started out on Royal, and that's probably why I fell in love with it. But I want to try them all. I want to give them all a try. I'm not just going to stick with just one place. I want to get them all.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna be my first NCL is what Cruise Tubers is asking about the Booze Cruise 4.0 on October 30th.
Mhm.
So I'll be there. Uncle Dave will be there. A lot of other people will, but I think that's Uncle Dave's first NCL too. So that's
Right.
we're finding it out. But when I booked it, we got the free at sea, and then when they come out with the more at sea, went back and got that because again we saved money and got more stuff. So I'm glad, and now they're going back to a free at sea. So I'm glad I got more at sea when I did.
We need to stick with the campaign. That campaign works.
Right. Yeah, because we've got the more at sea with our cruise that we've got, and
Right.
we always prepare our gratuities, and
Right.
because I don't want any charges on my account when I get off the ship.
Right.
But I was told that I need to cancel those prepaid gratuities if I want to upgrade to the free at sea, because they only give you, I want to say like maybe $10 or $12 credit per person for your prepaid gratuities, where I think you're paying $18 or something like that per person if you prepay it. So you'd be losing money off the bat, not to mention paying for that upgrade. I think it's like $30 a day for the upgrade. So
I'll do it.
Let's see. If I can earn a free cruise at the casino. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, it'll be here. It'll be here before you know it.
yep.
Let's see. Give you $15.
Yeah, $15. Okay.
But you pay
I was
20.
pretty close. Right. Yeah, I knew you're getting the shaft on it some way. I was pretty close. So
Right. Yeah. Well, they figure out how to make it look good, but charge more.
right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do that.
Yeah, and I think with the free at sea, they're going to let you drink at the Big Stirrup Key too, or Great Stirrup Key, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you get to use it all around.
Yeah. And then with having the new pier there too for them to dock, it's going to be nice too because they're not going to have as many cancellations with having to use a tender to get up there with the rough seas and stuff. So have more of a chance to actually get their guests off and let them enjoy the day.
Right. Yes. It'll be interesting. Yeah, we've done a little bit of Royal, but mainly been Carnival. We've done a little bit of Virgin, but we'll do NCL and this year, and then another Virgin next year. But I want to do a MSC, but it'll be like the first part of 2028. So
right. Yeah, Virgin's about one of the major ones here in the States that I haven't tried yet. Virgin and Cunard are the two that sail out of here that I really haven't tried yet. So
there you go.
And that might be the video that I got it off of Cruise Tubers. So, I've watched you quite a bit too. So
yeah. So anybody hadn't seen it, go check out that video on the Free at Sea Plus, so you can understand it, breakdown on it.
Yep. So I think you came out with your video probably a couple days after they announced it, or maybe that day after, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Yeah. So I do need people to break things down for me because I'm pretty dense sometimes.
Yeah, it's always good when somebody can break it down. That way, especially when you're trying to learn it or understand it, it's
for sure.
A lot easier that way.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Stern to Stern, appreciate you coming in.
Yep. How you doing tonight?
They're making a big deal out of that fourth icon coming along. We call it Hero, Hero of the Seas. It's not, and it's going to be exciting to see that ship launch too. I feel certain
they're setting cabins today, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, I feel certain they're going to go ahead and get fifth one started, and then eventually the sixth one. Sixth will probably 2030.
Well, yep. Well, I was watching YouTube. Imagine that, and Matt Hockelberg was talking about a ship beyond Icon that Royal Caribbean was hinting about too. So, because we kind of let the bag out about the Discovery class coming from the from that Italian port or French port or whatever it is. But then they had also mentioned that there's another ship coming out, and initially they thought it was a Discovery class, but we know that one's going to be built at that other facility. But where the Icons and Oasis are built, there's also going to be another Royal Caribbean ship that's going to be beyond Icon. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that in the next years.
Yeah, they have another Oasis coming too. So yeah,
right.
It's fun times, man. Fun time.
Yep.
It's all right, Vicky. Glad you could be here. Appreciate you stopping in. And yeah, I hope the new tax thing don't go in Hawaii either. Because I want to go back.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd love to do a cruise around Hawaii. I'd like to do one out of San Francisco. Do the cruise to Hawaii and then around Hawaii and then back. But I wouldn't mind doing just an island tour too. Fly over there and just hop in and just do the island tour. But I mean, that's expensive because it's an all-American crew. People. Right. You hear people complain to John Heel all the time. Why don't you get more Americans? Look at the price of that cruise down there. It's an all-American crew. It's almost double what you're going to pay for any other cruise ship.
Yep. Hey, Ron.
See them dumbing down or going down on the design of it, though. Even though there's going to be smaller ships, I think Royal Caribbean still going to have them jazzed up the Royal Caribbean style. So
I do too. Yeah, I think they're still going to have their skating rink and everything else. And the thing is, just because you're going to have a smaller ship doesn't mean you're going to have smaller prices. I think they're still going to be Royal Caribbean priced.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They it don't matter the size of the ship; they're gonna have the same pricing.
For sure.
Well, yeah,
You know, and
yep.
smaller the ship, they probably actually go up a little bit on the price.
It will go up a little
Oh,
bit
yep.
per
Yeah.
ton.
Yep.
Per ton.
You know, and I think they're talking about maybe doing a size around the Freedom class size. I think around a 4,000 person ship. 3,500 to 4,000, and
Right.
that'll be good for the European market and stuff. But I really think they probably need to get something to replace the ships that are going out of Tampa that can fit underneath the bridge.
Right.
Because those ships aren't going to last forever, and I think it'd be a horrible loss if we can't get anything to go out of Tampa.
Yeah.
Would you see where Tampa's looking to build a new bridge?
I think I heard something about that.
We have a little higher, where they can bring in the ships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
still bringing high
glad we
cost.
could help.
Yeah.
So we helped stern to stern save $300 tonight. So there you go.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing with all the cruise lines. They continue to just every ship they want to be bigger and bigger and bigger. But
Right.
you're talking about Tampa. There's a lot of places that New Orleans that the bigger ships can't go.
Exactly.
There's a lot of ports around that the bigger ships can't go, and if they don't start making some new smaller ships, mid-sized ships,
They ain't gonna have. Yeah. Yeah.
you ain't gonna be able to go.
And that's what the Discovery class is supposed to do. Give them the ability to come into these ports that have that issue. And
isn't it right now that when they sail out with the Icon classes, they have to have retractable funnels as it is just to get out underneath the bridge when they're putting those out for their sea trials.
All right. Have a good night, cruising tubers. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, you just think about those smaller, I'll say smaller cruise ports, or the ones that have the bridges, or shallower water and that kind of thing. I mean, that would be a lot of ports taken away if they didn't go back and fit or build the smaller mid-class ships, because those gigantic ones, world ships, can't get in there.
Right, and you look at a place like a Grand Cayman that's a tender port. It's not going to be able. You can't do a world class or an Icon or even an Oasis there. You wouldn't be able to tender those people fast enough.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to get everybody on before it was time for the ship to leave.
Exactly, that'd be a 2-day process.
Right. I mean, they would. Of course, I mean now they would have to start doing overnights in some of those tender ports.
Yep.
So that could be a plus, in one way, but then does the port itself have the infrastructure to support an overnight?
Right.
Do they have stuff at night, or is everybody just going to go sit back on the boat, on the ship, and say, well, we're here overnight, but it took till midnight to get everybody back on the ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
now I was watching somebody today, and they were talking about Celebration Key, and they were talking about they had a Vista class ship and an XL class ship there at the same time, and they were saying how busy it was. Because they're looking to build that second pier and get it off so they can have 4 ships there at a time. But he said it probably wouldn't be a very good idea until they get that water park open. So who knows what they're going to do there at Celebration Key. Because they said it was pretty well packed because there weren't a whole lot of available loungers and stuff when they went to go get out there today or whenever they were at Celebration Key.
Well, that little port there at over here in Royaltown where Royal Caribbean though, they had that huge Norwegian state there. Of course, they had Harmony of the Seas, anchored out there was Explorer, Granger. Granger was anchored offshore. Around 1 o'clock, so it pulled up anchor and left. I said, man, it's supposed to be here till 5 o'clock, but it left.
Right.
Right.
So I think they finally said, hey, you need to go away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they've got weather coming in or something like that, then they can't run the tenders. So,
Well, yeah, there's a possibility of weather coming today. It didn't hit, but it was sure showing up on the radar.
right. So, yeah, I mean, they got to look at all that stuff. And, yeah, if you're tendered out there, it can be problematic, because that's what a lot of people say about Cabo with the overnights. Yeah, if you want to stay overnight in Cabo, that's fine and dandy, but you got to let the ship know, because if they end up not being able to get you out there that second day because of bad weather, you're on your own to try to get to the next port or get home.
There were some waves out there too. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not bad, but there's enough to be on tender, but make it a rough ride on tender.
Right.
Well, like Attila said, we were talking about the size of the ships. Said the name of the new Royal Discovery class ships means something. It means smaller ports, less common ports, maybe Norwegian Fords, Alaska, and smaller Eastern Caribbean islands, etc. That's another thing. Going to Alaska and trying to go through them fords and all. There again, the bigger ships can't go.
Right.
Ports. And Alaska and some of the other ones, that are trying to limit the number of people in port in a day. They don't want them bigger ships. Can't handle the infrastructure's not there to handle world class ships.
Why do you think that so many of them are pushing to get the piers put in?
That's right.
Cayman, all of them. They're trying to get them all put piers in. So
yeah,
right.
So,
and then you look at the Bahamian government is looking at putting that new port in Mayaguana, which is down by Turks and Caicos, and you're looking at about how big that island is and where they're going to get all that infrastructure from.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, number one, it's only inhabited by about 300 people now, and it's going to need to have 2,000 jobs. So what are they planning on doing? So, because granted, Turks and Caicos is the closest island, but that's not a Bahamian island.
Right.
No. That's isn't that the British Virgin Islands?
I'm not sure.
That's pretty close.
Sure.
If it's not, then it's close to them. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, because Nassau is further away. It's twice as far as what Turks and Caicos is. But they definitely have to build infrastructure for people to live, or people to come in and work, and then of course you have to ship everything in.
Right.
And they're going to put a port in there, and they're looking at doing shipping there as maybe like a layover or something like that. But yeah, they want to put a cruise port in there too. So I think it'd be beautiful, but what are they going to do?
Right. Yeah, saying what's the chances of Grand Cayman's getting the pier built? But
yeah,
they looked at it last year,
yeah.
And the Grand Cayman officials turned it down again because they've got that reef out there is why they can't really build a port.
Right.
And they don't want to displace any of the natural stuff there. So I think about every 3 to 4 years they look at it, and it just recently came to a vote last year. I want to say probably about the middle of last year, and it got turned down again. So
yeah, it was last year.
So it'd be nice if they did, because
yeah,
if you're stuck in a wheelchair or a scooter, tendering is almost impossible unless you get
tender's
lucky and
nightmare
get one of
there,
those ships.
man. Yeah.
So it makes it kind of hard.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're over our first hour mark, so time for the commercial break. So Rick can run to the little boys' room there, and anybody else that needs to. But so we'll do the commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Sounds good.
This is Cruising Chris.
Come on.
This is Cruising Chris M, and we will be right back to the show after this short break.
For the real ones. For the real ones. Pretty Timmy and T, yeah, we raising the bar. Every sip's an adventure, we shooting for stars. Cut those wheels, take the scene, now we gliding in style. From the vineyards to the lounge, we redefining the mile. 4092 the base where the legends reside. Mixing vibes, not just drinks, it's the culture we provide. Tuesday libations, Wednesday we scrutinize. Catch the flavor, feel the energy, we on the rise. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Yeah. Have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. My toes, waves crashing on the bay. Feel that warm breeze blow. No worries on my mind. Just leave stress behind. Palm trees in the line. Find that peace I find. Vacation time. I'm feeling so fine. Living in the moment. Sipping on sunshine. Music in the air. Laughter everywhere. Dancing. Sun is shining all day. Sand between my toes. Waves crashing on the bay. Feel that warm breeze blow. No worries on my mind. Just leave stress.
Wheeling and chilling all night long. Hot flames popping, we're feeling strong. Barbecue vibes, let's sing this song. Grilling and chilling where we belong.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right. It was a special reporter and a star and a commercial. Ain't that something?
How'd I get so lucky?
I had a long ways to run, too. Not like I'm in my house, you know.
Well, it's right next door.
Right, we're next door, yeah. Okay, no.
Well, you better be careful, Rick, because you know, Carnival's tightening down on security.
Yeah.
They're tightening down on a lot of things that people have been complaining about. You know, one thing is the kids' curfew. Yeah, they're tightening down on that. They're doing a much firmer stance on kids under 18 being out and about late at night. And they're backing it up. I mean, they're sending letters to people and they're catching them. They're getting their names and they're sending letters to the parents.
Yep. Yep.
There's a news report just came out yesterday or today that a family got fined $1,000 because 2 kids were out banging on doors.
Right.
So they actually fined them $2,000 or $1,000, $500 per kid.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you know,
it's not new rules; they're enforcement rules.
that's right. You know, they said the warnings of what it is, you know, the first time they catch them, it's a formal warning. That's when they get the letter. The second time is, you know, could be up to $500 fine. Of course, that would be per kid. And then the third time, everybody in that travel party can be disembarked early and placed on the no sale list. I mean, you know, that's so they're putting it in there, and
not just the cabin, but if your rooms are linked in any way, just eating dinner with them, you got 20 people.
They're all going, the whole cabin. This, you know, this is the letters that they're sending out to people.
Right.
You know, warning them that, you know, they caught the kid out late, past curfew, and if it happens again, that what it's going to be. Also, they're cracking down on in all the adult areas. The Serenity decks. They're not leaving any more parent discretion. The comedy shows, 18 and plus, they're carding folks, and if they're not they're not 18, they're not letting them in.
Yep.
Yeah, there was one that the mother was kind of upset. She's like, well, it's up to us. We got a 14, 15-year-old kid that they can handle this type of comedy and stuff, that the parents should be able to say they were okay to be there. And they said, nope. They have to go. They're sticking to it. And they're even if you do assigned dining, if you got early or late dining, early especially, they're cracking down. If you're more than 15, 20 minutes late, when you show up, they're telling you to go eat at the buffet.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
There was a couple that showed up 35 minutes late for early seating, and they told them, they said, we're sorry, but you're gonna have to go to the buffet or specialty restaurant or something else, but you can't.
They gave you a reservation to another couple. Yep.
Yeah, and they said generally they give a few minutes leeway in there for somebody to get there, but especially with the early dining, they got to get people in and out so that the late people can start coming in. So, I mean, it makes sense, So if you don't, we always do your time dining because I never know what we're going to be doing and when we go eat and that kind of stuff. So, but if you want a set time dining, then you're gonna have to start being there at that time.
Right.
But so Carnival stepping up so far this year and cracking down on some things. There's a lot more, but that's the main thing that would affect people anyway.
And they're cracking down on the mobility scooters too, and making sure they're not parked in the hallways, and which is a good thing because I mean that's a safety issue.
Right.
Because I know I didn't see it on Carnival, but my last Royal Caribbean cruise, they'd just leave them out in the hallway. I couldn't get past a scooter. So my wife would literally take my key, move their scooter so I could get past and then move it back. I told her, don't move it back.
Right.
You can't. You shouldn't leave it in the hallway. I don't care if you're going in for a second or two. You need to get the scooter out of the hallway because if there's an emergency or somebody in a wheelchair needed to get by and they didn't have anybody with them, that'd be a pain to have to go down the other hallway, come all the way back around.
Yeah.
We all the cleaning people do a good job of keeping their carts off to the side, and I can get past those pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're going to exactly do with that. I know, the policy is your scooter has got to be able to go in your cabin. So if you don't have an accessible room, you got to have a narrow scooter.
Right.
I don't like or want to see people not be able to go on cruises because there's so limited number of accessible rooms. However, like you said, I've seen it where they leave the scooter out in the hall, and you're right. Another scooter, wheelchair, somebody with a walker, can't get by. So they've got to come up with something. I don't know if if maybe in the terminal they put a door so you can see if your scooter is going to go through that door to get into the room, and if not, maybe have scooters available that will fit so that you can have throughout the cruise. You're gonna have to rent it or whatever, but at least you'd be able to get it out of the hall and still be able to go on the cruise.
I saw at one of the cruise ports, I think it's one of the scooter companies around, I think it is. They actually had a rug on the floor said if you do not have an accessible cabin, and then it's got an outline of how big the door is.
Right.
So if you park your scooter there and it won't fit, they'll make you rent a different one to go in. And
Right.
not only does it have to fit through the door, but it has to be able to break down because they don't want it blocking your way outside the door if you can't get out.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to get out of your room fast enough too.
Right.
So,
well, see, that's another thing. We always generally we book interior rooms, and I've looked at and thought about when we were there. If we had a scooter, even if it would fit in the door, where are you going to put it? Yeah, you can pull it in, but that's it. I mean, you're not walking around. You're not walking around in your room. You're not getting by. You're not getting to the bathroom. Any of that kind of stuff. So,
right.
I know it's a delicate issue that's got to be addressed, and somebody has got to come up with some kind of solution, because I'm gonna say, fortunately, it seems to me that there's a lot more people cruising that use scooters than what it was a few years ago, or I'm just noticing them more or something. But
right.
So there's got to be, whether or not when they go into dry dock, do they make more accessible rooms? Granted, understanding that cut down on the number of cabins per ship because they're taking a little bit of space from several others to make more of them. So,
but you almost have to wonder how they're going to do that because each room is its own separate container when they build a ship.
Yep.
It's almost like a rector set where they put it all together that way.
Yeah, the bathroom on the balcony of the Jubilee, it's small.
Right.
They're not that small on MSC or Oasis class ships, but the bathroom in the Jubilee is small. Now the shower's kind of not that small. It's kind of weird. The shower's a little bit bigger, but the bathroom itself, with commode and sink and all that, it's tight.
Right.
And I'm a planner. Just inherently, that's just what I do. But that's why I plan my cruises, so far ahead, because I find an itinerary I want to do, and I know that I'm going to be limited on accessible cabins. Every once in a while I'll get lucky and something pops up. But if there's not an accessible cabin, I can't go on that cruise because my scooter will not fit through a doorway because I need a heavy duty scooter, and I'm not going to get it through a small doorway. I'm not going to get it through a regular cabin doorway. So, I was lucky. I found a celebrity cruise where there's an accessible cabin once. In my first MSC cruise, I was lucky to find an accessible cabin.
Right.
I hear Virgin Voyages is really good about having open accessible cabins.
I've heard that. I have heard that. Yeah.
So, you just got to be planning ahead. I mean, is it fair? Is it unfair? Maybe, maybe not. But, if you look at my cabin videos, everybody says, yeah, it's a nice big room. But you know what? I plan ahead to make sure I get that room. I'm not really paying any more for it, which fair or unfair, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to pay much more than what I do for that cabin category. But I've also got a plan. I'm also planned out to 2028, just so I know I've got a cabin available that I need. So,
Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
It's Bill.
I think Bill just got on a ship or getting on one.
That's a usual motive.
I'm trying to remember. He was posting and being in the airport. I think that was yesterday. So
yeah,
he either tomorrow he gets on the ship tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So,
not a bad life, Bill. I got to say.
Got that right.
Yeah. I won't be just like him when I grow up.
Exactly. But you know what? He put his time in just like everybody else. I'm sure.
That's right. So, well, Chris, you were saying that you heard Virgin that is real good with accessible cabins, which we've only been on one Virgin cruise and we're going on another one next year. But that's one thing I never really thought about it on our first one, and until you said that. But I don't remember seeing hardly any scooters or anything on there, so they would probably have more availability for
Right.
accessible cabins.
Yeah. I've heard they've got more accessible cabins for a late cruise booking.
Right.
But I heard that some of their venues are not as accessible as some of the other places. I've heard that some of the theaters are harder to get into and stuff like that. So, it's half dozen, 1/6 of the other, what you're looking for. But I still want to try a Virgin Voyages cruise at some point in time. So
well, it's a different cruise, but it's also probably one of the most laid back and relaxed cruises that we've been on. Just the way they do things is different, and you don't have as much going on at all the time. So it's just spread out more than, like on Carnival, they'll have 15 events going on at 2:00, and you want to go to half of them, where they don't have that on Virgin. So
yeah, I hear the life doesn't get started on Virgin until after 12:00 noon. So that'd be kind of different for me because I'm an early riser,
Right.
But when I'm on a cruise, I kind of stay up late sometimes too. But I can only do that so long because I'm an old man. So I can stay up late a couple nights, but can't do that every night.
Right. Well, yeah, that Virgin they don't really have anything planned or scheduled until like you said, lunchtime. It's set. They'll have fitness programs and stuff in the mornings, because they're a real health oriented cruise, and so they'll have people to be going to the gym, and they'll be doing aerobics classes and different things like that in the morning. And at 12 it'll start, but with it being adults only, when it starts, it's just like nighttime on any other ship. You could have the adult comedy show at 12:30.
Right.
So
I'm not too worried about those fitness programs. I do the 12-ounce reducing curls as I get on the ship. So
that's right.
That's my level of fitness when I get on a ship.
Yeah. Let's see. Rick, what onboard activities are there? M's wanting to know.
They have a match game, deal or no deal. Having a celebration show this evening. I'm sure I'm missing something, but it's a lot. It's in that central area that has kind of like an amphitheater look, and I see a lot of people go and watch it. So a lot of people, it looks interesting, but I never did attend any of them.
How's the food there on the ship? Because I know when I was on Carnival, I was pleasantly surprised about the MDR and stuff. It was pretty good.
Yeah, we really liked shebang. We did the first night. Shebang is free, and if you go back again, it's $8 a person, so it's not that big a deal, but it's pretty good.
No, that's not bad at all.
Yep, enjoyed that. We've been eating at the Pig and Anchor quite a bit, the barbecue, but we also eat at the buffet, which it's okay. But the barbecue's good, and the shebang's good. And I think we'll do the El Capitan, whatever you call that place, tomorrow night. I've been wanting to try that.
Now, what surprised me is that at your Pig and Anchor, they're serving breakfast there because they didn't have breakfast at the Pig and Anchor on the Horizon.
Right, and they do. They have breakfast here, and much less pain in the rear to go there than going up into the marketplace.
Right.
Yep. They also have
what kind of things do they have at breakfast in there at Pig and Anchor?
Yep.
Now, what kind of dishes?
It's
Just normal.
grilled eggs, sausage, bacon. Well, they have bacon. That kind of stuff. Not much more than that, but it's got some waffles and stuff like that.
So have you had a chance to see Captain Nick on the ship? Because I think he's still on there. 'Cause I've been watching his Instagram.
Yeah, I have not.
Because I think he's the youngest Carnival fleet captain. He's only like 42 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I generally don't go into gyms on the ship either. I go to the gym here, but I don't. When I'm on the ship, I don't go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if my wife's taking a shower and I need to take a shower, I might go to the gym, but that's about it.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, see, that's a little pro tip trick there for a lot of people is, like talking about how small the bathrooms are and stuff. If you go to the gym, it's big showers. You got plenty of room. And multiple people, whatever, you can take a shower in your room. Won't go to the gym like you're talking about.
Yep. Don't have to be worried about married to a shower curtain either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's big. So let's see. Rick Weir wants to know if you tried the street eats.
No. I thought about that several times, but I haven't made it over yet. Now, we still got some sea days coming up, which this gives me a great opportunity to do that.
So that looks like sounds like it's probably a short for tomorrow. Trying something at the street eats.
Yep. Sure does.
So
now going back to Turks and Caicos, Lori said that it was a British territory. Lori Barber did, so appreciate that, Lori.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were. British U.S. Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, the street eats change every day.
I really did like that C-Day brunch when I was on Verizon. I like how they changed up the menu between C-Day brunch and the regular breakfast. There's a nice variety. So,
yeah, our last one we did C-Day brunch a couple times. We generally don't do it, but we did it a couple times just mainly just to try like the Voyager burger and that kind of thing. Which it was good.
I really like the avocado toast. Having that was, it's a nice change of pace.
Donnie gets up so late; it's brunch time. So.
Well, my what do you call it? The thing that I look forward to most is just getting Guy's Burger every day. Call me a 12-year-old, but oh my gosh, I could almost live on those things.
Yeah.
And our last cruise, that was something that I didn't eat as much of as we normally do. That was 8 day, I think. And I bet I didn't eat 3 or 4 Guy's burgers. I think 3. But normally about every day, at some point.
Yeah, because I'd go there, get my second lunch there.
Yeah.
Get me one of those ringer burgers.
Yeah.
And sometimes I load it up with some jalapeno peppers or those onions or whatever else. Or I'd take it over to the Mexican.
Yeah.
Get some of the hot sauce.
Right.
I like the Jubilee. The style layout of the Jubilee is nice. It's well done. The staff is good. I like the staff. They're friendly. They, if I ask them for anything, they take care of it for me. The food is not where I like it to be. It's below MSC and definitely below Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean's above MSC, but MSC and Royal Caribbean are actually fairly close. But there is a few things that kind of hits, and that is like shebang, and a few things that do miss. And there's been multiple times I've been disappointed at the buffet. The Guy's Pig and Anchor barbecue, though, is pretty decent. It's good. I like to try some of the others, but I haven't tried them yet. But we're going to get some opportunities. But it's a good ship, and I'm glad it's in Galveston.
Yeah. The thing that disappointed me the most was the pizza. I think it's the Cucina del Capitano or whatever it's called. They're on the back deck by the pool deck.
It's in here,
yeah,
right across the hall from the Mariner Bar, Catty Corner, and it's the California Slice, something like that, something sliced, and it's good pizza. It is good pizza. I've eaten that several times.
I mean, I ate it out of necessity just to kind of get some grease on my stomach, to help with the alcohol consumption. But yeah, it was rather disappointing.
Yeah, I enjoyed the pizza.
Rick, Will G wants to know if you hung out with Dr. Inks at the Alchemy Bar.
I have. I found it the other day, and I haven't been down to it yet to get a drink. But it was closed when I saw it. I don't know what minute they opened. I had to find out, but it was closed when I was going down there.
They generally don't open until like 4 or 5 at the Alchemy Bar. They're wanting to open late, and they stay open later, but they generally don't open until late afternoon.
That probably explains it then. Yeah.
So,
yeah, my little secret for the Horizon is go to that Ocean Bar instead of going to that Blue Cafe or Blue whatever it's called for the coffee. There's never any line. Blue. Yeah, Java Blue. There's always a line for Java Blue, but you go to the Ocean Bar, which is right across from it. They still got a coffee maker and everything else there, and can do all the specialty coffees. There's never any line.
You get the Java Blue here at the Marina Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just go there, and I
got multiple. Yeah, I got multiple lattes and coffee drinks, stuff like that there.
Right.
Yep. You get anything you wanted there, what you could at the Java Blue.
Yep. Yeah, when they on Horizon and Vista, when they first started that, they just did regular coffee at the Ocean Bar. So if you wanted some kind of Frappuccino or something like that, you had to go to Java Blue. But the last time we were on the Horizon, they had changed, and they had the same machines over there. So like you said, on Horizon, you could actually do it from either one.
Yep.
So
the server made something that my wife really liked. It was a iced caramel mocha frappe. I don't know, something. Probably had oat milk or something in there. I don't know what it was, but
right.
But she really enjoyed it, so she kept on going there with me, and I get my Irish coffee to start my day off right. So
yeah, a lot of Alchemy bars do have live music. In the evenings they'll have somebody there playing music. Except on the Vista, they do not, because of where it's located. It's a hall walkway on both sides, so it's right there in a point. So there's nowhere for the live music. So that's one reason why we didn't go to the Alchemy Bar as much on the Vista as we do on other ships.
Yeah, that's the same as the Horizon too. It's because it's right across from the sushi bar.
Yeah, right across from Bonsai Sushi. So
yeah, they had a little stage in a Pig and Anchor. Had a guitarist come in there and a duo or trio or something to play there every once in a while. But yeah,
right.
We like to see the live music.
Oh yeah. So Will G says he's always hanging out at the Pig and Anchor on the Horizon.
Oh yeah.
Then the XL class ships, great selection of bourbons.
Yeah.
We got a good bar there. It's a good place to watch a ball game.
Right.
Yeah.
Rick, get you one of those Bloody Marys there. That it comes with a snack on top of it. I mean, they got all kinds of
that bacon
sticking out of it.
Yes, I have, man. They pile that bacon on top.
Yeah.
They've got that infused vodka there too, which is what makes it so good.
Right.
That vegetable infused vodka.
They did a good job making a good old fashioned.
Oh yeah. You can get a pretty good old fashioned at the Alchemy Bar too.
That's good.
Yeah.
They get down there tomorrow.
Right. So.
Yep, Ricky Ocean turned me on to getting some adioses, so I had several of those too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're good. Go and get you one or two of them to start with, and then you can just post the rest of the time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you get a couple adioses. That makes up for a good sea day nap too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're past the 9:30 time, so I reckon we need to get out of here so Rick can go exploring the ship. I know he's ready to get to the club to go dancing, and so everybody else can go to see Scotty J at Anchors Away. I'm sure they're started up. So, Rick, appreciate you coming in. Glad you could make it. And Chris, appreciate you being here to help out and being the special reporter for tonight. I'm
Appreciate
sure
you having me.
we'll have you up again some more times and on this show or some others. But appreciate you coming in and helping out. And I guess we'll
you enjoyed the show
and everybody else's lives, and go check out Scotty J and Cheryl on Anchors Away. So other than that,
Yes, sir.
everybody has a good night.
Enjoy the rest of your cruise, Rick.
Thank you. Everybody have a good one now. Bye.
Bringing waves. You heard it here first. Travel tips and fun with the best in the game. Don't forget to drop a comment, share the stream, and let's talk about it.